Cool. Excuse me. Great, we're live.
Excellent.
We're live. Guys, this is actually
going to
be a podcast. I am here with the inspiration that is Marcus Jarvis. Marcus is one of my 28-day goers. Is a goer a good word? But participants, clients, and has been working with us. And Marcus literally blew the floor away on our first workshop. Literally blew me away. And when he informed us all he had stage 4 cancer, and was pretty much told, to expect the worst. The thing with Marcus was the unbelievable level of positivity that had shone through during the workshop that we did. And that's why I've invited Marcus on, because I feel that Marcus is going to blow you away in terms of facing adversity and fighting back at the highest level in his darkest moments and in his biggest battle. And I hope it will inspire many men to really take control of their lives and see that what opportunities they have. So Marcus, first of all, I massively appreciate you coming on. You are like an unbelievable guy. Let's put
Thank you for inviting me.
You're an unbelievable guy with an unbelievable mindset already, even before we did the work we did in the group, right? Please introduce yourself and maybe give us a couple of minutes of the story unfolding of how you found this out.
Yeah, no worries. Right, just like to say hi everyone. My name is Marcus Jarvis. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I started to get pains and everything else in my stomach area, and I kept going to the doctors, and they gave me some tablets for gastroenteritis or something like that, and then they kept coming back, so I kept going there, and then they done an ultrasound and found shadowing on my liver, and then they done a CT scan with a biopsy to follow, and then I think it was the 2nd of October 2 years ago. Me and my wife sat in the oncologist's office, and they told us that I had stage 4 suspected pancreatic secondary liver cancer, which was incurable, and they were just going to stick me on chemo for as long as possible and then see what happened. And I remember my wife turned around and said to me, "What does stage 4 actually mean?" And I said to my wife, "There isn't a stage 5." And that sort of blew us away a bit. And we had to go home with that knowledge in our head. And we had a 4-year-old boy at the same time. Cool. And yeah, he was only 4. Right. So we had to go home and try and sort of work out what we were going to do in the future. Yes, process what we were going to do. So, and then obviously we went home, and I'd read a little bit about cancer because I had an inkling that something like that might have been. So I started to change my diet for a start, because I knew my diet wasn't great, and then the more I read into cancer, the more things I kept implementing.
Was
and
this
realized
before or after?
That was after I got diagnosed.
Okay. All right. So when you got diagnosed, obviously that that is life, like the biggest punch you can take in the face, right? What were your emotions? What were you going through?
I see my wife just break down, and I thought to myself, this is where the fight starts. And I had to step up at that point, and I wasn't going to bury my head in the sand. And I realized that I was partly to blame for the cancer because of my diet, my stress levels and everything else. So I took it upon myself and, just tried to process everything and find out what I could do for myself from what the doctors could do. Because the doctors could obviously only give me my diagnosis and chemo, basically. So.
Okay. So, do you really truly believe that it's your fault?
Slightly, yes. Yeah. Because I ate far too much sugar, far too much bacon sandwiches, being a builder, and not a great diet. I used to run a little bit here and there, but not
Yeah.
as much as I do now. And in a way, well, it's not so much my fault. I accepted responsibility. I wasn't going to play the victim card. And I was like, what can I do from now?
Yeah.
Not what I've lived in the past, sort of thing. So everything in the past was gone.
Yeah.
It was right here, right now. This was my normal life. This is where it mattered. So I didn't, yeah, like I said, I didn't really blame myself as such. I just took responsibility for it.
Um, the way that you saw life the day before, did it literally change overnight? And like,
Yeah.
you know, the only way I can describe it is like, I always use the Matrix as like, he just lives his life, he's looking for it. And then suddenly you see the
Yeah.
meaning, like what life is about. Like he sees the
Yes.
Matrix, right? And he gets it. And I always
Yeah.
imagine, and I've had friends who have, you know, died from cancer, who have had cancer. And they said that once they got diagnosed, they just suddenly saw life in a
Yeah.
completely different
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. This is my second life now. I had a life before where I procrastinated and, oh, I'll do that tomorrow and everything else. But now, like, everything is now.
Yeah.
If it needs to be done, I'll get it done. So
Okay.
yeah.
And all of the problems that you thought you had, did they just disappear?
Yes, yeah, totally. Nothing else mattered. Nothing. The only thing that mattered at that point was my wife and my little boy, and where our future was going to go from there. So I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, mortgages, rent, all that didn't matter. Car insurance, nothing mattered at all. All right.
Okay. That's, you know, and it's really honest of you, like to be so open, because obviously at the start I said to you, is like, is anything you didn't want to share? And you know, I think it's really brave that you come on. I think you inspire a lot of guys, you know, in terms of in terms of putting things into perspective. You know, sometimes you get wrapped up in the chaos of life, right? Like, and we allow those small things that really don't fucking matter whatsoever to
Yeah,
completely consume us. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
Billy pulling out and cutting us up in the car. You're like, oh my god,
yeah.
like, and sorry, my daughter's
No, that's all right.
phoning as and sorry, I got completely thrown there. You know,
That's all right.
and I think what's really important is to understand the other side of that diagnosis, and suddenly your whole priorities, your whole life completely and utterly changes.
Yeah.
So where did you go from there? How long did it take you to process, would you say?
I probably faced up within the first couple of weeks
Yeah.
because I needed to do something. And then obviously I got my PIC line put in, and then I started chemo. But I decided to cut out everything like sugar, alcohol. I went plant-based diet as well.
Immediately.
Uh, Immediately, yes, yeah. So like the first couple of weeks, I cut out all meat and I
Yeah.
went vegetarian. Then I'd done more research on plant-based, and my idea was to reset my body as soon as possible, as quick as possible. So I went for the most logical one that had the most research, which was plant-based diets and stuff like that. And then obviously I kept reading books like
Yeah.
The Truth About Cancer and everything else. And then I met up with Justin from Wolo, which is the cancer charity. And he was the one who actually gave me your book. And he was like,
he put it in the basket, right?
Yeah.
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 Because I gave him a handful of them to go and give out. And I remember him putting them in. How mad is that? That's how you find me.
Just crazy. And he was like, you want to read this book, sort of thing. So and then me and Justin started running together and doing stuff in, sort of things like that. So
your response was one of immediate. You didn't even dwell, right?
No,
Did you
I
try and
couldn't.
break down?
I did. I remember going out for walks after chemo through the woods where I live, and just the tears would just roll down my face, thinking, I'm not going to be here in 6 months. That's me, done. So, because that's what basically, I wasn't told because I never asked for a prognosis, because I'm never going to have a doctor tell me when I'm going.
Yeah, man.
But from all the stuff I read, I knew if I didn't fight hard, I wouldn't be here. I think so. So yeah, that was some really, really dark days out in the woods, just walking, or just, you know, along the cuckoo trail and stuff like that.
Is it
Just
just like
thinking,
an overwhelming feeling of uncertainty, of just not having that control of
yeah,
your health?
yeah, literally, I had no control whatsoever. I felt as though that something inside me was just eating me, and like I had to do something, otherwise, like I say, I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So you've been diagnosed. You immediately change your diet.
Yeah.
What about your mind? So
That was
how did you build up the mentality or the mindset to be able to handle this huge blow, um, and make sense of it and build some mental resilience to go, I'm fucking taking this on? Because I can imagine that, like, for some people, it's very difficult to do that, right? I've met other cancer patients, other people who've suffered with cancer, and that emotion has just completely consumed them. So what made it different for you? What made you just go, like, let's fucking go?
It was a quote from Henry Ford, I think it was,
Yeah,
where he says something like, "If you believe it is, it is. If you believe it isn't, it isn't," or something like that. So
yeah,
basically, it was a case of, I believe that I am going to be here in 40 years' time, you know, and I weren't going to go nowhere, because I'm going to see my little boy go through graduation. I'm going to see my wife, you know, we're going to go on holiday. And I had all these images just processing through my mind where I'm going in the future. And I never let go of that. And I even had my oncologist image in my head of them saying that, pleased to say that you're no longer got cancer, and just that you believe it is just stuck to me, sort of thing. And
that's like a
like I say,
mission,
when
like a
yeah,
mission for you, right? That, like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
your mission is getting that all clear.
yes, yeah, yeah, getting the all clear right to the end, and just for them to turn around and say, I
Done
don't
it.
know what you've done, but you know, you've got yourself to this position.
Do you believe that one of the key components to recovery is through the mind?
Without a doubt, yeah. Healthy mind, healthy gut, with a healthy body. And you can't have any other way. It has to be a healthy mind. It has to, you have to believe, because if you don't, you're buggered, basically. So
Before you found out you had cancer, what do you think stopped you having that mentality?
fear of worrying, oh, I won't be good enough, or you know, like people are going to laugh at me, or I'll fail at doing this and everything else. But now, you know, just completely changed. I don't care what, you know, what I give a go at now.
Yeah, of course. We literally wouldn't give a fuck about anything, would you? Like, your mentality is just like, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's
yeah,
interesting, isn't it? The psychology and once we're presented with a life changing
yeah,
direction or path,
yeah.
how suddenly all of those things that we used to fear and showing
Uh,
up and getting wrapped up in life suddenly just drop, and suddenly
yeah,
we take this unbelievable approach.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Tell me, in the last couple of years, about some of the things that you've been doing for yourself to build yourself up, but also I know you through the Wolo charity um, situation, some of the things that you've been achieving and doing to raise funds and awareness.
Yeah. I like I said, when I changed my diet and everything else, I also done acupuncture. I went to see a homeopath for holistic remedies to help alongside the chemo. And I started exercising. And like I said, I read your book and everything else. That really helped along the way, just having those 1% little goals of, right, you can get up, you can do this. There's other people out there that have won gold and they've got no legs, so what have you got to complain about, type thing. So, and just pushing myself further. And yeah, so far this year I've run 1100 miles.
This year,
uh This year, yeah, I've done 6 marathons, 250k ultras, done duathlons, wing walks,
Wow.
and loads of different things to
That's
raise
why you're
money
on
to
here, right?
go.
So just in case
Yeah,
anyone wasn't sure, like like that is like in itself like a big fuck you to like the
yeah,
disease, right? Like it's a big
yeah.
fuck you. Like you won't dictate to me
No,
what's going on. That is like
yeah,
pure that is the epitome of everything I try and teach, right? That is like showing up, like
yeah,
no boundaries, no
hmm,
excuses. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
when I hear fucking blokes saying to me they can't get out of bed because it's cold or raining, you know what I mean? This is a
Yeah,
wake
yeah,
up call,
yeah.
um, and I think you are absolutely incredible, dude. Like I think you have you know, in a fraction of the whole of your life in the last 2 years, you've just probably grown like 10x,
Yeah.
right? 10
Yes.
right, in terms of your mindset.
Hmm.
So you've got a little boy.
Yeah, yeah. He's 6 now.
Does he
So
understand? Does he understand what's going on?
we told him everything that we did to a certain degree. He understands that there's a bad plant in my tummy.
God,
So, and that's the way
makes
he
my
put it
heart
down
swell.
and tell me about it. It makes me
God,
cry just thinking about it. You know what I mean?
God.
And, but yeah, we told him that I was going to be like ill, sick, in bed, just tired all the time. I mean, I even brought myself a guitar to learn because I thought that I'd be sitting around so much. I haven't even tuned it. I haven't even touched it because I've had so much to do. And I've never, like, I mean, this is my worst day of chemo today.
Did you
Is
have it
this is
this
where,
morning?
no, I had it on Wednesday, and you normally get the bad side effects 5 days afterwards.
Okay.
Today is my worst normal day where you feel really sick, nauseous, because the steroids are coming out of your system.
So is that is that
So
is that why you feel awful? Because it's the
yes,
withdrawal, is that all
yeah,
coming out?
it's all coming out of your system. But I managed to run 5k this morning.
Oh my,
So so, and because
amazing.
like I said, I had chemo last Wednesday, just
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
As soon as I finished chemo, I came home and ran 6 miles, just because I read an article to say that the more exercise you do,
Yeah.
the more your blood flows and you get it all pumping around your system. You start to sweat and detox as well, and stuff like that. So, and
Mate,
I practice Tai Chi every day as well. So,
that's incredible. Do you do things like meditation to help you with your mindset?
yes, I do. Yeah, yeah, I do a lot of meditation to help control my blood cells,
Yeah.
my Tai Chi. I ask my body to actually heal itself. I know it
Mate, that's
sounds all like
incredible.
voodoo-y sort of thing, but yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So, with the treatment, where are we at? What's that? Where? How are we moving forwards? When are we going to get like? Is it the bell? Do you ring the bell?
Apparently, you're not allowed to ring the bell anymore. I
Please
don't
tell me
think.
it's not because of fucking COVID.
No, no, it's not because of COVID. I think it's something to do with not upsetting other patients.
Okay.
So something like that. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I mean, I might have read into it wrong, but you
Okay.
know,
So where are
some
you
people.
at in terms of is there more chemo to go? How close are we?
We are pretty close. Basically, what's happened? I've had 32 rounds of chemo so far.
Okay.
I've had a 7-hour liver section operation, which was 2 months ago, and they took out because I think I had 10 tumors to start with.
Yeah.
4 of them disappeared, and there was 7 left. No, there was 11, and then 7 left. They cut out 7. 6 of them tumors were dead. There was only 1 tumor that had cancer left in it, but unfortunately, I just missed a little bit on that, which showed up on the scan. So then I've got 6 more rounds of chemo, which I've done 2. So I've only got 4 more to do.
Amazing. And how long does
Yes,
that over a period? Is that like a couple of months?
every 2 weeks.
Every two
So I
weeks.
have, yeah, I have chemo every 2 weeks, sort of thing. So
Is the vision to get to Christmas and be given
yeah,
that good news?
yes, yeah, it is. I think my last round of chemo is the 24th of November,
Yeah.
and then they'll do a scan. to see whether it's gone. But my oncologist said if it hasn't gone, the surgeons are happy to go in and cut that last little bit out, then I'll be done with cancer. And that was actually her words, that
What
you
date
will
is
be
that?
done. 24th of November will be my last chemo.
Yeah.
And then obviously whenever they do a scan from there. So it could be a cancer-free Christmas. All right.
You could be at the seminar, cancer-free.
I could be. Yep. Yes. Yeah, I could be.
Mate, that will make
Or,
the day
yeah.
well worth it as well. Like, I will literally make sure you stand up in front of everyone.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I think I lost you there. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now.
Mate, sorry about that. My
No.
laptop is old as me. I'm not sure. It just switched off. We're back anyway. So let's continue. So the future is what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
What do you
Looking forward to it.
What's the mission in life? So once this is done, and I'm positive that it will be that's how we think, right? We think positive. It's gonna it's gonna be gone. I'm guessing you are going to have to be you're monitored. Going to have to continue to be monitored, which is obviously. But what do you want to achieve in life? What do you want out of life?
Well, because because I had the surgery, I must admit my mindset did drop down quite a bit.
Okay.
And because your 28-day program came along just at the right time, and I jumped straight on that. And because I wasn't being able to exercise and stuff like that, so because the surgery, they said I weren't allowed to run, no exercise, no nothing like that. So, and then I jumped on that course with you and all the other guys, which is so inspirational, all of them, and it just lifted me back up. And the 10-year plan as well, which I've set out nicely now, obviously health, being able to, I want to get into the UTMB Ultra Mont Blanc. It's the Ultra, Ultra Mont Blanc race. So I've got a lot of ultra races to build up my points. So that's on my health side. And obviously the knowledge of nutrition and everything else. Because I study like the Wim Hof, Iceman.
What do you get from that then? What do you get? What does that give you?
I kept my hair. It's literally, I lost through chemo, I lost pretty much all my body hair, and my hair on my head went so thin. And I read his book, and I started having cold showers every day,
Yeah.
started running outside in the cold, and all my hair started to grow back. And obviously, my
I need
immune
to
system,
do that. Like,
yeah. Well, you already go swimming in the sea.
I do it. Yeah, I do it, but it doesn't seem to be working, mate.
No,
No.
yeah. But no, it seemed to rejuvenate my hair follicles on my body and my arm, and obviously boost my immune system. And yeah, I still run -4 outside with just a pair of shorts on. So I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm on drugs, and I'm like, yeah, but not the type you want to be on, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, it's study like health, nutrition, stay on a really, really good healthy diet, never drink, never sugar, nothing else like that, because I want to live a full life now. And obviously relationship, want to have nice holidays and go renew our vows and take the little boy away, kite surfing and everything else. And then personal development is going to be just fill my brain with as much as possible. And I'd like to take, like, on what you've done, is actually write a book for my journey. And I hope to, because I wish I'd, now the only thing regret I do have is if I wish I'd woken up before cancer and changed my life, rather than having the cancer smash me in the face and say, right, you need to change. You know, so if I could write something that would, you know, just say, have a look at your life, see if you're happy with it, the same as what you've done, sort of thing, you know. So, and explain my cancer journey, and you never know, it might give people the inspiration to go, do you know what? I've actually got a chance to fight against cancer, because there's so much out there. There's herbal teas. I mean, I brew my own Indian herbal tea, which is called SEX tea, which reduces tumors and stuff like that. So, so yeah, cancer doesn't stand a chance against what I've got against it.
You're fucking, you're on a, like, you are the epitome of mission. Man on fire is right. So, like, honestly, you are an incredible guy, and I think that I would endorse your book 1,000,000%, and I would definitely read your book. And and I think you're coming in onto the mastermind as well. And like, in terms of writing the book, maybe that's your project for next year that, you know, obviously can help you with as well. And I think that would be super amazing. You know, I think you, against all adversity, have gone above and beyond. And the reason I wanted to bring you on here is because I wanted to show the people that don't have the level of adversity you have. And sometimes we need a good kick. And I think, Marcus, you will definitely kick a lot of people, like, in terms of perspective, in terms of direction, in terms of the bigger picture. And I think it's hugely admirable what you've done, you know, in terms of like bringing yourself back, like mentally. You know, you look fit and healthy. You don't look like a man who's like, look at your muscles, look at your glow. Do you know what I mean? And I think wherever you go, the room would light up 100%.
Thank you.
Cool. So if people want to follow you, I know you're kind of doing your own like little mission, and you got like a little Facebook page going, and like people can sponsor you in terms of doing your events and stuff, and you're raising awareness and stuff. I definitely want some of your fucking tea. So like, how can people, I'm sure people would love to reach out to you and contact you. So if you have an email and you want to give it out, obviously give out whatever you want to give. So people can find you, dude.
Just email, and obviously I'm on Facebook as well under Marcos.
Give them your email. If you give them your email now.
It's Marcos, MARCOS, Jarvis, JARVIS 74 @gmail.com. And my Facebook is just Marcos Jarvis. And anyone wants to contact me about any questions about what I've done and how to fight and just never give up and just have that mental mindset to be able to reprocess what you've gone through. You know, I'm always here for you guys, girls, everyone, and anyone needs to chat.
Okay. If you were to leave one piece of golden nugget advice for anybody listening, what would that be?
Probably research, because you're never going to get it from the doctors. I never got any information. I had to do all my own research. I was just told to go home and enjoy what I had left. So I had to do everything myself. So I definitely say research. I read The Truth About Cancer, which I got a lot of information from. And just don't give up. Literally, you're still breathing. So it hasn't got you. Just don't give up. All right.
Love it. Love it. Random questions at the end, as we always do. Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Believe in what your mind says.
I love it. Worst piece of advice?
Can't really think. My brain's gone. Worst piece of... yeah. I think because I live with such a positive mind that
don't see it.
There's no worst case scenario comes into my head whatsoever. I mean, I read a little quote that said, excuses are for people that don't want it bad enough.
Yeah, 100%.
And my life is so important that
you have an emotional connection, right? Yeah, like you. Like I always talk about the emotional. You're not motivated. You have an emotional attachment to life. You have a much higher level of appreciation than I ever will, than anyone else ever will. You know, because you've been on the brink, you've been on the cliff edge, so to speak. You know, and I guess the closest was when I very nearly took my own life. Like what a waste that would have been, like to do that. And you get to that point. And I always think back to that time. You know, that is almost like 7-8 years. You know, I'd just be a bag of bones right now. I never would have achieved anything that I would have achieved. The kids would have grown up without a dad. You know, and you just kind of those moments of reflection and perspective really like create you. This has created you, right?
Yes, because I've got Beachy Head just down the road, and literally the amount of times I thought about it, and then I thought, well, where would my wife be, and stuff like that, and my little boy. And I always remember my wife saying, because when I started doing all this exercise and stuff like that, she was like, the doctors have said, you know, rest and everything else. You sure you should be doing this? And I said to her, I said, I'm fit, I'm healthy. I'd rather live the next 6 months looking like this than 9 months, degrading in the bed, sort of thing. So, and she was behind me 100%. And she's a fantastic cook and everything else, sort of thing. So
I love that.
So I've got a lot to thank her and my little boy for as well, sort of thing.
Of course. Of course. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you so much.
Mate, I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from you. You're an incredible guy. You, I think, are going to rock the mastermind, like coming in. I think a lot of the guys are going to get so much from you. They have from the 28 day as well. It's an absolute honor to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to the Remember the Mission in Birmingham
and
as well.
That's going to be
really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Point. It'd be great for you to bring at the end, get your wife and kids come up so we can meet them when we finish and say as well. But that's going to be an awesome day, awesome speakers there as well. So it'd be good to.
I think they're going off to Cadbury's World that day, and then we're going to do Sea Life Centre the next day. So
tell him to bring the chocolate.
It's all right.
Be like 100 men waiting for chocolate. It'd be like, let's go.
Exactly. Where is it? You said you were going to Cadbury's World. So,
Right, brilliant. Thank you for your time, dude, and
my
your
pleasure.
effort and your energy and the inspiration. Continue the journey, and I'll see you on the other side anyway. Thanks very much.
No worries. You have a good day. Thank you so much, James. Take care.